So now we get to the fun part, choosing your fabric. And I know that so many of you get daunted by this and you're not quite sure about fabric selections, and you've got some great shops out there that you can go and talk to the owners and the people that work in those shops to help you along the way. But what I'm going to do is show you what I've done. So today I'm going to be working with my bittersweet fabric, and also I'm going to be showing the samples from my recent range, which is called Beaujolais. And I'm going to show you what I choose. Now, as I said before, the range is quite busy, but I did design it to be able to marry it with the Riley Blake Basics. So what I'm going to show you first of all is the one print that I chose that would be my major fussy cut print, and it would be my main print in that collection of fabric. So this was one of the colorways in that main print. So you can see that what I've got here is a lot of pattern repeat that's very close. So you can cut from this one piece of fabric and get many, many different designs, just depending on where you place your template and where you cut from, and you cut from that same pattern repeat over and over again. So this particular piece of fabric I've used in many parts of this design I have here. So it's most of them is where the darker blue is. So it's these blocks here, there's a little bit in here, and we're working around to these. So you can see they're all different, but they were all cut from that same piece of fabric. And that's what makes it exciting, because you can make so many different designs. And the very same print, but in a different colorway, I've cut the ones that are predominantly pink or the lime green. So it's the same pattern, the same design, but just in a different colorway. So our pattern repeat is very, very close, and that makes it very easy for you. So another piece that I took from the line was the multi-stripe, which has just got a lot of different colors in it. And I haven't used it a lot, but I used it in just these little pieces here. So I haven't used a lot of it. I just needed something to give it a little bit of a lift. And sometimes you'll see that it becomes a little bit three-dimensional depending on where you put stripes and things. This is another one of the prints that came in the line, and I haven't used this a lot either, but I have used it around here. I've just used it in a 6-pointed star, but I've used it 12 times around the outside of the design. And then this little piece here is, again, I haven't used a lot of it because, you know, basically I've used my fussy cutting print dominates in this particular design, but I've just used this piece 6 times around in here. And then I've coupled it with some of the Riley Blake Basics, and if you can't pick it all up there, you may have a fabric that you want to pull from a different collection of fabric, and that's okay too. Just because it's not from one collection, it doesn't mean that you can't use it. So the Riley Blake Basics, I've chosen, in here we've got a honeycomb dot, and then we've got an orange Swiss dot out here, and then here we've got a medium dot or a medium spot, which is this one. So we've got the medium spot, we've got the orange Swiss dot, and then we've got the honeycomb. And then from a different collection, I pulled the black and white stripe, because I love the black and white stripe because it gives everything such a lift. And this is a different black and white stripe I have in here as to what I have in this particular quilt over here. And the same stripe I used in this one is the same stripe I used in here. So that was from a different collection also, but it just gives things a lift. So that's how I choose my fabric. You know, different quilt, different choices of fabric. But for this particular design, I really wanted to showcase that fussy cutting. And for the people out there that are, you know, really into doing English piecing, and they do a lot of fussy cutting with all the small pieces, this is a really good piece of fabric that you can get your teeth into and really, you know, cut it and make it your own, and create really beautiful designs. So that's what I've done. And so the next step we're going to move on to is our English piecing, and showing you the basics of how to put this whole thing together here. So, you know, you too can have something that looks just as beautiful as this.